Good day, wise people. With you, Yaroslav Shvets always, and we broadcasting something really interesting today. And if somehow you found my channel, found this video, so maybe it's not mistakenly. So, question is any natural or unnatural selection affected you or not? So, it might not like this information for you, who knows. So basically it only, let's say, my fly of imagination, and you no need to believe anything as I said before many times. Just try to check it by yourself. So basically everything what I will tell you, it's just some my own conclusions, what might be wrong, and it's just to give you some idea what to think about. And yeah, you might not like it as well. So basically there are different information I took from different sources, like different books, articles, and so on. Why I prefer use terms and natural selection, what probably one of the first who determined it, Charles Darwin. So yeah, basically I'm not really agreed with his theory like maybe many scientists. Even he himself, he said what theory might be failing, not only because of the missing links and so on, but well, still, we will use the term because it's very well known, very famous, and it will be quite easy to explain. And yeah, maybe all of his theory of evolution was just a pay order by someone for keep people as far as possible from a god, let's say, because it's much easier for control a big crowd of people to make them more material and focused on materialistic things and change the values. Same like religion, it's more convenient instead when people done a different magic. So biggest religion before it was a magic and shamanism, but we skipped religion because it's way more easy for control people. So it's everything about the people control. So probably same what happened now and nowadays, like many scientists, they try to find the proof what some company convenient for make more sales or just hide information about some harmful products. For instance, big noise about Teflon and asbestos and aspartame and many other things. As usual, I like to make the broadcasting my own way, so I'll start from really far away and step by step bring all of the pieces together for complete the puzzle and make the whole picture. What might make it easier for understand and bring you to the point what basically I want to mention. So I just want to make some similarities and compare some kind of information what might be bring you to some kind of shocking conclusions. Of course, not in any case I want to make a destructive video. So basically my aim just to make you think differently and show different other options and opinions what might bring you to some kind of quite interesting conclusions, and it kind of motivation for the self development and self growth in any kind. Alright, so let's bring ourselves closer to the point and let's use some science. And yeah, we'll use some facts from history as much we can believe it, because many people don't. Cause of many misguides, a lot of kind of mistakes and contradictions. So a lot of things in our history did not match, but we use it as perhaps. Additionally, many things what I will mention. When I was a kid, I loved to watch like different kind of program like Wild Planet, National Geographics, and so on. Basically in different countries like China, Russia, whatever, have many different kinds of programs about wildlife and so on. And of course one of the favorite my I think is Jeff Cousteau, who probably had most cool jobs in his life ever. So people who watch at least a little bit certain programs will understand my point quite easily. So let's come back to the natural selection. So let's come to the nature. So on what nature intends. So let's take our basic instincts. I mentioned two most important. We intend to survive and reproduce. That's it. So all of our physical functions and so on mostly focus it on save ourselves and reproduce for send our genes. And basically we can see the same things in animal life as well. Okay, let's see some clear example in animals. So basically every weak breed, every weak animal just can't survive. It's just killed easily by nature or even by their parents. So for instance, the cats or dogs have puppies, and usually who is the weakest one, they not survive. The first one, usually they stronger, they come to the breast quicker, drink milk more and have a less chance to others. If they are too weak or sick, usually mom or dad, whatever, they just eat it. If they not eat it, other carnivores can eat the puppets or rats or mice or whatever. Yeah, it's really crucial in wild world, but we're super violent. But yeah, it's only strongest can survive. If we can take a species like monkeys always feel who is the weakest one, and usually they beat them, and sometimes they beat them to the death. So yeah, who watch Wildlife, Wild Planet or whatever can have a lot of different videos like that. So if we go in underwater and take a fish world, so let's say if environment is really safe, so fish try to be more bright and attractive for attract the other part and so on. But if environment is really violent and dangerous, they try to hide and be really transparent to the nature and be invisible and so on for survive. So basically environment, it's a crucial thing what make this kind of selection. And of course, who cannot adopt, they not survive. So always survive more smartest, more fastest, who more tough, powerful and strongest one. So let's take a story about a gazelle. So one of the video I watched, they said, okay, so gazelle need come to the water and drink water, but there's a crocodile, and one of the gazelle come and sacrifice herself just with some kind of suicide. But basically, you know, animals don't have any things like stupid things like people. I mean, a suicide. So when the scientists look closely, so basically gazelles, you know, who is the weakest one or sick or who is oldest one, and they just push him away to the water to feed the crocodiles, and then animal else can come and drink the water. So yeah, so if we take any other species, let's say deers or bears, whatever, for have a chance to reproduce, they fight, and on the strongest one can send the genes to the next generation. So basically such kind of tournament happen in many species. So only strongest one can send the genes, and basically each next generations get like the best what they can. What we can see in our world, so basically everyone reproduce with anyone they want, and we not really care about the genes. Now we're really material. We more care what we can afford, what we can buy. Yeah, and women say we don't want to work, so better to find a man who can give them enough materialistic things. That's it. And genetics we skipped already, and we not really check what the past illness from grandparents and so on. So basically, yeah, it's the world we live in. And after some people surprised why their kids get sick so easily, etc. It's a millions example. Yeah, information might be a little bit harsh, but as I said, it's just different kind of conclusion on different facts. And usually when we look on a man, on a woman, it's our nature. So basically we want to reproduce, and we look for really healthy mom or dad for our kids. So usually we see how they look like on a genetics, and of course how they smell like as well. We have a lot of different blocking function, let's say. So if the person not smell good, let's say armpits, yeah, this means too much bacteria there, and it stay away from that person. Or not really fresh breath, so probably stomach problem. And basically we can have a lot of different kind of not pleasant smells from different part of body, what's mean there a lot of harmful bacteria need to stay away from that people. But now we can put deodorant, lot of perfume, and we don't have such blocking systems anymore. Instead of take care of our health, same like we can have not really healthy looking skin, and we cover it with the makeup easily, and still we see really attractive woman or man on another side. And it's many different kind of examples. If we skip deeper to psychology, usually if we're really attractive to each other, we have certain chemicals what we call pheromones. But now nowadays we can change everything so easily. Have a plastic surgery, make a silicone butt, gel lips, fake boobs, whatever, and the man look on a woman and say, oh yeah, she have a strong legs, probably she quite strong and will be really good kids, have a big breast, can feed kids easily. So basically it's everything happen in our subconscious mind. We not analyze usually such deeply our desires. And yeah, she have a big lips painted in a red lipstick. So usually when the woman really interested in a man, blood pressure is going up and lips get a little bit red. So basically it's a signal what we can see the woman really interested in myself. So yeah, I'm attractive to her and so on. So probably it's time to talk. But now it's everything fake. We not really know. And after we surprised why the relationship not going well, we even didn't had a chance for get such certain chemicals in our romance and so on. But I wanna get it much deeper about the genetics. And yeah, who remembers the case when the man get married with a Korean woman who was really beautiful, but kids looks, let's say, so-so. And he sued her because she didn't say to him she all done like a lot of plastic surgery, and she not really the person who he look like, what she look like. And actually it's a lot of kind of examples. So now we make kids with who it's more convenient materialistically, let's say. And maybe in our world someone adapt more and more smarter, who can get more money, make a business easily, whatever, have a lot of connection, have a really good skills in speech and so on. So maybe in our world, like a smarter, people who much smarter can survive and adopt to the environment and so on. But also the physical health is really important. How many different diseases we can get from our ancestors. And let's say if we compare to 100 years ago, and still don't believe in any single of my words, try to double check in your self, try to make a small investigation, and who knows how far you can go. So 100 years ago it wasn't that much illness like problem from overweight, was diabetes, blood vessels, stroke, heart attack, etc. And cancer and many more. What's really popular now, and also the mental illness like high stress, depression, paranoia, and so on. Some people will say that no, before it wasn't make such deep research and so on. But basically, yeah, psychologists working quite hard, at least 50 years already, and now the progression we can see it's not really pleasant. Okay, so the natural selection. So let's come back to the animal world for give you a couple more examples. Weakest always die. So let's say the bulls, bisons, gazelles, whatever, the weakest kids who are not smart enough, who not have much endurance, usually they slower, and carnivals can catch them much easily. It doesn't matter how much the parents they try to protect them. Same when a drought season, there is no water, so the weakest one they died as well. And when the warrants, a big lizard, they attack the gazelle, even a big one, so they already can smell who is the weakest one and who is slowest one, and just bite them piece by piece, and they lose a lot of blood, and then they became a food. And many species, sometimes they eat their own kids, or they just left them because they know they just will not survive. And this kind of natural selection, yeah, it's really cruel, really violent, but always the strongest one, always the fastest one survive, and the next and next generation became better and better. And maybe that's why even after the thousands or million years this species still here. So let's come back to the human world. I think many people who are not really active work in an office, and if something happened and leave the big city, probably not many people even can go out of city. And if they will go to the nature, probably not many can survive in nature. I think many people not such active for be able to walk on a 10th floor. So imagine you need to catch a rabbit, how much chance some random person will catch a rabbit, or need to run away from a dangerous animal and hide, be smart and tough enough. I guess it's not many chance also. So basically we make ourselves much weaker. Yes, of course, if we take our history from a caveman, still, if you believe that, but we just take the theory perhaps, yeah, from a caveman, when we live with the nature, run away from a dangerous animal and try to catch something what we can eat, and we come to the agriculture and industrial century, and till nowadays day of the technologies and so on. And it's a big question, is technology make our life more convenient and easier? Probably yes, but it seems like it make us more dumb and more addicted to it, and we not really use our brains anymore, unfortunately. Yeah, so probably hundreds of years we not live in a harmony with the nature anymore. We polluted everything. We make a lot of terrible experiments, and when we try to make some changes, always it's not works well. A really good example, when Chinese try to kill all of the bird because they say they make not a good influence on the fertility and eat rice and everything. So of course it's not easy to kill and catch all of the birds, so they make a lot of noise. Birds gets really tired, and after you can catch it easily. But what happened next? They killed a lot of birds, and then insects, they make it even worse. So they eat all of the rice, they eat everything what been there. So then they realize how dangerous such stupid changes. So they ask for help from other countries to bring them birds back for balance all of the cycling process. And yeah, same like in Australia, probably many people know they kill a lot of wolves, and after being too many rabbits, and they don't know what to do with that rabbits, and so on. So basically it's a lot of different kind of examples, and now we just put a plastic everywhere, oils in a sea, and a lot of fish die. So we make so many changes, cut the trees, destroy all the forest and so on, and make everything super unbalanced. Yeah, we are the leading species here. Maybe that's why other species from other planet not really want to contact with us after they see what we are doing and in what destructive way we are living. So still the main question today is, any natural selections affect you or not, or doesn't affect? So let's bring closer to the point. So basically the nature always wanna keep the strongest one, the smartest one. And not only by different carnivals, they attack the people and kill them and so on. If it's might be some more natural disaster like earthquake, tsunami, tornado, whatever, or even most dangerous one, let's say some virus or bacteria. Let's say it 14th, 16th centuries in Europe, sometimes it like 90% of population in a city was died, 90, but not everyone. So probably the virus killed all of the weak people and the strongest was survived. Another really good examples when to Latin America Columb came, but basically yeah, it's many Africans and came there before Columb, so many travelers been there before. But why I mentioned Columb? Because when Spanish came there to the land of really violent games, when people play football with a head and on a public take a heart off on a different bloody ritual and put blood from a pyramid and so on. And you know, it wasn't so bad when the Spanish came and bring some disease there. So still about 90% was die. So the bacteria was way more violent and kill almost everyone. Almost, but not everyone. Still the strongest survived. So probably nature, they have a lot of different factors how to control the populations, how to make us develop ourselves. And if you don't want to work on yourself, if you don't want to be stronger, if you don't want to be smarter, if you don't want to develop in yourself in any kind, so probably you decide to be the weakest link and come to the natural selection. That's it. And basically it's not much chance for your kids or grandkids. So what genetics you will pass? So what do you think? Do you tough enough? Do your genetics good enough? What about your immune system? So let's say all of that people who was died in Europe from different kind of viruses. Yeah. So probably it's only people who we can blame ourselves, because we just eating a shit food, not active enough, don't care about our health. Of course, our immune system will be on really low level compared to someone else. What happened now in nowadays? We have a lot of different TV, radio, Wi-Fi waves, radiation waves, and so on. What effect on our health? What about the frequency in your socket? Did you check it? Of course not. Yeah. What about the food full of pesticides, herbicides, preservatives? So basically we kill ourselves every day with food. And what about the destructive information? So if someone learn about the psychology at least a little bit, so probably it will be not a secret. So a lot of TV series, films, music clips, what we see have really strong influence directed on smoking, drinking, using drugs, and basically intend on a total moral decay. And many films, it show how good to sacrifice yourself. So basically it's a really high intention to commit suicide and so on. And of course you're supposed to be directed on only material things, not talk about anything high or whatever. And of course you will be really unsatisfied when you will not get when your favorite character are, and so on. So it's really easy to get to the depression. And basically depression, feels like pretty normal. And you know, when just internet was appeared, quite recently, I would say. So first of all, some psychologists said if you spend 1 or 2 hours in internet, so probably you have an addiction, same like gamers and other gadgets. But afterwards, that articles, they was deleted from everywhere. I cannot find it anymore, actually. If you can, just please send me the links. And yeah, if anyone have any cool information about the topic what I discussed today, yeah, just please share. I will be really thankful for it. And you know why? Because this information, it will put the cells down. No one need it. We're living in the commercial world. What about the cell phones? Before was a lot of information, so it's really harmful for your brain, and basically you need to cover it in some plumbum or aluminium for not put any waves on you. Now it's everywhere, and you cannot find this information either. About the gaming, so probably the first country who start to fight with it, it's China, and it's quite recently, just a few years ago, because many people, they have a strong addiction to the gaming, so they just don't eat, don't do anything, don't wanna work, because yeah, some parents, they cherish their kids a lot, they have enough money, so basically the kids, they have no motivation to do anything, just playing games. Yeah, well, if you decide to be the champion in certain game, it's up to you, of course, but we are living in a fake world, and in a fake world you play the games in another fake world, so you go even further from the truth, instead of see the nature of reality in a deep meditation, whatever. But yeah, it's personal choice again. So what they do in the Chinese, now they have a lot of different kind of services, and basically a couple of services was made in Russia, I think about 10 years ago, but it only for people who had a hard depression. So they go into kind of concentration camps with a really harsh environment, with quite violent people, really rude to them, and so on. So they realize the difference. So they wasn't really nice and friendly world before. But of course, you send the papers before, you might be bullied, maybe even beaten, and so on. And it works very, very well compared to normal psychological treatment. So what about China? So of course, people, they don't want to do anything. They addict to the gaming. So some of them even not eat. Some people, they just eat and play and get fat. And people have a lot of kind of disease because they not move much. Heart get weaker, and blood vessels, and so on. So basically, a full range of different disease. You might have a back problem and so on. So they go to the camps where there's no gadget, almost no electrician, everything is pretty much natural and so on, and they stay there for rehabilitation like months or so. And many people like really struggle there. It's like a big deal for them. But usually when parents see no choice, they just send there. Yeah, you can find more information online. It's not a secret. It's not a hidden. It's quite interesting. So maybe if someone will be interested, maybe I make another video directed only to that one. So what do you think? Is that people, and it's thousands of people who are gambling, will they survive if something happened? Let's say electric station collapse for the months, will be no electricity, no water, no nothing. How they will survive? Some countries was bombed and was a war there, and some cities left like empty cities. All people just live, and still some people who was homeless, they still stay in the city and they survive. They catch rats and birds even after 10 years when everyone left. So some of the military who just provide the help, and they just discover all of the areas and analyze what happened and so on. So some people, they done a great job. They wrote really cool articles about different waves, how the people survive after the world in empty cities where it's like hell, no water, no nothing. And yeah, it's amazing. But it's really small percent of people. But basically I want to ask you, what about you? How good you are? What genes your parents sent to you? About the genetics, I know a couple of guys whose parents was quite sporty and good in education, and their grandparents too. So even in young age, they had like a super good body. They was super fit, have a six-pack, everything, and they probably was like twice tougher than their siblings. They can run 2 times more, do more push-ups, pull-ups, dips, and so on. And yeah, of course, the genetics was much better already. They have a higher metabolism, can eat ice cream, sweets, and never get fat, and so on. And question is, what do you pass to your kids? Yeah, how you choose your soulmate, and so on. So basically, same question I came back before. With who we mixed up. Let's say we take Africa and some leopard and. Who else? Lion, yeah. Or maybe a lion and what else? Any other cat is nearby. Cheetah, yeah. And it's like no chemicals between them, but it's like cats, almost same species, but no attractiveness, no love, and so on. And people who studied eugenic, genetics, so on, probably know like a mixing between the race, not the best case. Yeah, some people said you take a best from 2 parts, but if someone stay in a cold country and someone stay in a hot country, the purposes for the survival and everything is different. You might not see the much difference in generation 1, but generation 2 and 3 will show everything what's supposed to be. So we collect not only the best, we collect the worst as well. And who make different kind of breeds, they know. So like cross breed species, it's like impossible to do, and usually they're weak, but we quite see a lot of mix blood around. Yeah, some of them is really beautiful, really good. So what can I say? Not much deep research done it in some case, except the Germans who done it in the 30s, but now it almost no information left about. They might be wrong, they might be right, but it's really strange no one do it nowadays. Okay, so let's move forward from an animal world to our world now. If we look around, many people will see. So what do you think? What the chance of the surviving if like everything collapse with the some way? Yeah, how good the immune system? Many people, they live in a high level of stress because we decide to live in a really unnatural way in a urban jungle full of concrete, always insecure and fear about everything. So I think all of our hormone system really suppressed, and food what we eat and all of the pollutions from factories around. And compared to people who live in the mountains with the clean air, clean water, and like living more than 100 years is pretty normal. In the cities, like, if you just live till 70s, it's pretty good. Yeah, it's pretty good score. And probably all of the 70 years you was suffering and just try to survive, get some money for pay for your rent, food, etc. So basically we are deciding what world we want to live in, but still the point of the whole stream, let's say today, is you selected by a natural selection or not? Why I mentioned the word unnatural selection? Because someone make a selection for you now and probably for quite a long time already. If you will read a book such like a Committee 300 or even very famous monument in USA in Georgia with New World Order was said, so it's only 500 million people supposed to stay on a planet only for keep it balanced and natural. So it means someone decide for you already, and with our population 7.5 billion for now, it's mean more than 90%. So simple math, more likely you supposed to be there as well. It means you should be naturally unselected. And if you cannot analyze information, you cannot understand what's going on around you. It's really up to you. If someone can abuse you and make a ridiculous law on what we always agreed, and basically, yeah, we pay our tax, and every year more and more tax. We limit our freedom, our rights, almost every year. Now it's like no private life, let's say, everything trackable, checkable, and we agreed to that. You, me, everyone else, yeah. And we're okay to eat all of this unnatural food and poison ourselves every day, be tired and lazy, not be active enough. And you know, majority of people living below the, let's say, low class. The like majority of people on the planet like really poor. A lot of people, they starving. Yeah, of course you are happy when you don't know what starving is, even if you're fasting like for the cleaning purposes, it's not the same. And another part of people, they just have a problem from overweight, even have a disease and die. And it's way how we live in. So it's mean the majority of people, they not really enjoy the life, just we live and survive. So we're just a part of the mechanism what we supported. So basically, we consciously agreed to be slaves to support all of the machine what destructively work on us. So probably the chance to survive might get only the smartest one, only who can use their own logic, only who really take care of themselves, try to be healthy. But many people said, oh, but it's just for fun. I can use some drugs, it's fine. And everything what we see on the media, like drinking and smoking, it's fine. Yeah, it's destructive. We live in only one time. That's it. So basically, we choose to this unnatural selection by ourselves. So probably someone make it for you, and if you agree to everything, if you're okay to everything of that, it's really up to you. So if someone poisoning you, make ridiculous law for what you pay taxes, and ask your government, yes, please limit our freedom, limit our rights, let pay us more taxes. Yeah, we don't want to be joy and happy, we just want to be a perfect slave. And basically it's how it looks like. And of course, everything what I said, I might be totally wrong. You can say your word, for example. So now it's really good unnatural selection with our own agreement. And you know, everything like was made by nature for keep only the strongest one, for keep only the smartest and fastest one. So in this unnatural selection probably happened the same thing. So only people who really care about themselves, about their families, about the kids and grandkids. Yeah, so if you really want to give like a good future for your kids and you want your grandkids have a good future as well, so probably you should do kind of investments right now already. Or you can just keep watching on all of the disaster was going on and say, yeah, I just done my job. Just what can I do? I just a small people, just a small person in this world, impossible to do anything. And it's how it's happened. Everyone just keep silent, sit in their room, do nothing. That's it. This means someone can do with you anything they want to. And you know, every year it might be just worse and worse. What practice says is nothing happened to better. And how smart we are is a really good example. I just noticed in many years of this end of the world, what mentioned like in 1997, 1999, and 2000, 2012 would make a really big boom, and so on, a different kind of sect where the people just sacrifice and kill themselves, and it's not the end. All of the worlds what going on now, and etc, etc, etc. And you know what? We do it by our own hands, with our own agreement. So everything good or bad happened to us, we can say thank you only to ourselves. And it's no reason to blame anyone because we're supposed to say thank you to all of that evil creatures. We'll say we can say that anything we want. So the gazelle compared to some carnivals or lions nearby, if she will blame all the lions because you wanna eat them, of course not. The lions make you smarter, more mindful, be faster, alert, and so on. So probably we need to say thank you to these violent creatures who's really evil, who do all of that things to us. They make us smarter, they make us stronger, they try to make us more tolerant to other things. Perhaps it will work for you. So it might be like a really, really strong motivation. By the way, if you're familiar with the book of Carlos Castaneda, what he said, like really violent creature is eagle who just eat conscious of everyone, and it's no mercy to any living creature. So any other your enemy, it's just a small violent creature. And also what it's mentioned, like if you have a really good enemy, same like in the Chinese philosophy, you're a really lucky one. Because if you have a good enemy, the enemy make you stronger, smarter, faster, etc. So if you have a really good enemy, it's make you develop. Because if you have everything you want, you have money, you have enough food, you will sit home, you will do nothing. Same like these kids who got addicted to the gaming because their parents have enough money, buy really cool gadgets to them, and they can sit and play games, do nothing all day life. It's how it works. So basically we have a lack of something, lack of money, we didn't find our other part, we still look for our own business, what we really enjoy to do, not we do it for the money and so on. So we're always searching, we educate ourselves. So self-education is really, really important because as more information you know, it's you prepare it. It's mean it you can use it for your survival, for your development, for grow your business and so on. It's just a small example. It can be like anything. But many people, they stop the education in school or university and they develop just in best scenario was stop like in 25. Same how people look like. I saw some people in the age of 50 what they look amazing, like a 35, and some people in 25 or 26 they look like shit. Sorry for the truth. And we do it by our own hands, with our own will. And basically, yeah, we cherish our weakness so much and have a weak will and do everything what someone want, not we want. And we do the things what we have to do, not what we enjoy. Usually people not do the work what they really, really enjoy. We do something for just survive or have a little bit of money because we have to. I already not mentioned such things like creativity or so on. So yeah, you can read Carlos Castaneda, but probably he pick up a lot of things from Wittgenstein. So additionally, you need to read it as well. It will be really useful, quite cool philosopher. But yeah, all the modern philosophers, what appear, let's say, in 80s, 70s, they skip everything from a classical philosophers like from Rome, Greece, Marcus Aurelius, Socrates, Plato, and etc. So yeah, if you wanna get the first information and change your worldview and change your philosophical way of living, just read the classical ones. But it just, I don't know, it's a food for your mind, and your mind's supposed to be hungry and you need to feed it. But it's not much information that will help you to survive. It just mentions something, how much you do for have a progress, so be more progressive. So change your personality to the personality you want. For be more wise, probably you are, if you somehow to find such let's say unpleasant video, probably search for some kind of interesting information. Alright, so basically I think I'll get quite close to the point, and it was comprehensive enough for just say what I want and mention a certain thing I want. So you need to look on yourself and just to decide what you will pass to your kids, what genetics you have. Do you want to prove your genetics? You want to grow spiritually? I even didn't mention about the spiritual growth. We like drawn in total materialistic things. It's even not much chance to get to some divine state and get higher. So when I've been in a temple, I just was really impressed of the discipline and intense, and it was motivate me a lot how much further you can move and stop all of your fear, pain, weakness, and just get to the point and work only with your emotions, mind, your inner state, and basically you can move infinitely further. Of course, if you want to, but it's a hard work, and we are lazy. We don't want to work hard. We prefer to be weak and just blame anyone else instead of doing something. Probably it's main problem in nowadays. We don't have an inner will, so we just kill any intention we have, and we do it from our childhood by eating all of the shit what came from media. Alright, so I think this video will be too long and you might tired from it already. So okay, just make a right choice, be sure who you wanna be, and try to analyze who you are now and is it was affected you like any kind of natural or unnatural selection. So do you want to do something with that or not? So basically it's a lot of questions and a lot of food for the mind. So yeah, don't be shy for leave some negative or positive comments about, and if you can provide some cool information, I will be really gratitude for that. Okay, so be strong, progressive, successful, and mindful. Stay tuned.